Hi friends, I'm Gary Mahaffey, pastor of Love's United Methodist Church in Walkertown. Welcome to our midweek ministry moment. Well, spring is finally here. I know by the calendar it won't be here until Sunday the 20th, but when we look outside today, it certainly feels and looks like spring. I know this past Saturday it didn't feel anything like spring, and when it got down in the low 20s Sunday morning, after losing an hour's sleep, it was a little bit of a struggle, shall we say, when it was that cold. But my, what a difference a day makes. It is beautiful today. We've got some rain coming in, but you know, that's what comes in spring and gives us that sense of new life. We're approaching Easter. Easter is on April the 17th this year, but until then, we have quite a journey to continue as we journey with Jesus all the way to Jerusalem. Along the way, as we know during the season of Lent, we are called to look introspectively, to search our own hearts. And we have this very interesting, shall we even say, somewhat confusing text that we will be looking at this week. We'll be looking at Luke 13, the first 9 verses. I'll read a few of these verses, not all of it right now, just to kind of give a preview of where we're going to be this Sunday. At that very time, there were some present who told him about the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. He asked them, meaning Jesus asked those who were present, "Do you think that because they were worse sinners? Do you think that because these Galileans suffered in this way, they were worse sinners than other Galileans? No, I tell you. But unless you repent, you will all perish as they did. Or those 18 who were killed when the Tower of Siloam fell on them. Do you think they were worse offenders than all others living in Jerusalem? No, I tell you. But unless you repent, you will all perish just as they did." And then Jesus launches into a parable about a fig tree. We'll go into more detail about that on Sunday. But I know this text can be a little confusing for us. But, you know, I think what it really hits at the matter of where we are, humanity, where we are, always wanting to cast some sense of blame, if you will, or at least come up with some reason for why these bad things happen. And Jesus says, do you think they were worse sinners? Do you think they were worse offenders? And so somehow they were struck down because of that? And his answer, maybe it is startling, maybe we actually find it comforting. He says, no, no. But unless you repent, unless you look at your own heart, that's what we're called to do during the season of Lent, to look at our own hearts, look introspectively to see what covenant is written on our hearts. Unless you look at your own heart, he says, you could suffer the same fate. This is kind of a sobering thought for us because a lot of times we do want to assign blame or come up with a reason for why these bad things happen. And sometimes they happen just because they happen. N.T. Wright, Episcopal priest, prolific author, speaker, this one expression where he says, sometimes a tectonic plate's got to do what a tectonic plate's got to do. In other words, there can be earthquakes, there could be tornadoes, there could be hurricanes. That's just part of the natural order, and we can't assign a reason or a blame for such a thing to try to make sense in our own minds. This can be a confusing time, but the bottom line is Jesus is saying, look inwardly at your own hearts. Don't try to figure out what they did wrong to have been punished that way. No, sometimes those things just happen, as hard as that is. But look at your own hearts. Don't be so consumed by the speck you see in your neighbor's eye when you've got a log in your own eye, going back to a Matthew text here. So I hope you join us this Sunday as we unpack in a little more detail, I guess you would say, this really kind of confusing text that we read in Luke. Also, I want to invite you that at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings, we're looking at a study time in the fellowship hall at 10 o'clock. Also, at 6 o'clock on Sunday evenings, during the season of Lent, we're having a centering prayer time. It's a quiet, meditative, very brief devotion, and we culminate that time together as we celebrate Holy Communion. So I invite you 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings, 11 o'clock in the sanctuary, and 6 o'clock Sunday evenings back in the sanctuary. I hope you have a blessed week as we continue our journey through Lent. Be safe. We thank you for being here and for being among us. Have a great day.